Cool.
This is an interview with Deja Gravy on October 4th, 2020 by Nick Burkell. Now, can you each introduce yourselves?
Yes, I am Vader. I am the bassist.
I'm Ricky. I play drums.
Can you tell me how you each got your first instrument?
Ooh, you want to go first, or?
I started playing the snare drum in the school band in like 5th grade, and my mom bought me my first drum set when I was like 14 or 15.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and I was what's it called? My dad and I started taking guitar lessons together when I was in 8th grade because he wanted to take guitar lessons. He said, "Here, you can come with me." And yeah, so I started out on guitar, but then I realized I don't have an ego, so I became a bass player.
I see. Now, can you tell me your history with private music teachers to advance your style?
I think I had one teacher, right? What was your teacher's name? Because we went to the same music studio too.
My teacher was Tony, and he taught me the fundamentals of drums, and he taught me pretty much the basics, and then after that to go find your sound and stuff. So like 4 years of lessons with him, and then after that just kind of did my own thing.
Oh wait, no, Vader.
Hi.
What about you?
Oh yeah, yeah. I had Tom was his name, and we went to the same exact place for lessons. I think we were at the same time at one point, weren't we? Because we'd both be in the waiting room together with my dad.
Oh yeah.
Like staring at the wall, looking at those music sheet books, like green Jello and shit. I wonder if they still have that. Yeah, I went to a guy named Tom. He taught me guitar, and I stopped going to Tom for guitar because. Not to say that I learned everything I could learn already, but like all I was trying to learn was like death metal, and so he didn't. I don't know. We came to an end. But then when I started to play bass, I taught myself to him and to see like, if there was anything he could do to help me. And he kind of said to me, he's like, "You basically have the fundamentals down at this point." He goes, "The only thing I can really teach you at this point is how to read sheet music." And sheet music and I have never gotten along, so that's when the lessons stopped again. Like it was a very quick, abrupt bass lesson because I guess I've been playing guitar for like 3 years at that point, so it was just kind of like I kind of just picked it up and went, "Oh yeah, do it with my hands, no problem, great."
Okay, now when did you guys decide to form a band together?
Well, I guess the real question is which time. Yeah, I mean, this is what our 6th band together.
Yeah, gotta be up there, yeah.
Yeah, Ricky and I have been playing in the same band together since we were probably 15. Yeah, we started when we were like, we were young enough that my dad had to drop me off at your house. Yeah. My dad would have to drop me off with my freaking bass amp and carry it up. Yeah, we've always gotten along musically. I guess kind of what happened with Deja Gravy is we kind of realized the third person was always the issue. Because, like, Ricky and I never fought at band practice. We never fought at shows. We never fought in the studio. It was always the third member who was kind of, like, the one instigating. So, yeah, we did this one-off show just for shits and giggles. We were asked to open. And
is that when we played in Bashoots?
No, that was the second time. It was when, like, I actually, like, threw a book at people in the audience and I was, like, screaming at people. What they're called? Yeah, the second time was the banana suits because like, yeah, we're going for it. Fuck it. Yeah, it was just a joke at first of like, yeah, we're gonna go up here and do a Doom set because Deja Gravy was an alias for any solo music I did, and people actually liked it. And the first show we played as a joke, we got booked for a second show immediately and a third. It's like, well, shit. I guess we have something, huh?
You have a real trippy sound. Do you have any influence from like bands like the Flower Traveling Band?
That one familiar, but do you know that band?
No, I don't know that one.
Are they from the 60s?
70s. Awesome Japanese psychedelic doom band from Japan. I guess they were on Atlantic Records, and I think they used to get high with John Lennon.
I mean, who didn't get high with John Lennon? That was like a protocol. Someone's gonna do drugs with them. That was usually David Peel too, I guess. But no, I'd like to check them out because Ricky and I do listen to like 60s psychedelic music. Like God, how many times have we watched the Woodstock documentary together when we're heavily under the influence? Like.
Just check out the album Satori, and it'll suck you into the band.
All right, no, hey, I'm always down for some trippy stuff. But I don't know, like for our influence in the bands, I mean,
Piper at the Gates of Dawn.
yeah, Piper at the Gates of Dawn by Pink Floyd is like our favorite Floyd album. So that definitely has a presence, especially in our early stuff. It's really present during Purgatory Dawn. Yeah, I mean, we're kind of all over the place though with our music taste, you know. There's a lot of,
Try to keep it rounded.
yeah. I mean,
No country music though.
he went there.
Yeah, I said it.
He said it. Well, he said it. I didn't. Yeah, the country music is for the other stuff I do on my Instagram live feed. That's what the country music's for.
You have a split with Please Exist, with a two-part song about Lapel de Vide. You have a message or an interesting interpretation you'd like to share on the topic?
Well, what that is translated is essentially the abyss stares back, and our music is very much based around voids, I guess you would say, because like the first album, Purgatory Dawn, that's exactly what the album's about. It's about experiencing dawn and purgatory. I mean, the second album has more of a poltergeist theme. That's a there's a song on there called Void, and yeah, so we sing about deep, open, dark spaces a lot. I guess well, I shouldn't say sing because we don't sing. Although I don't know if you caught the Rock Lobster cover on Visitor. I don't know if you caught that. But yeah, no, I mean, I guess I want to say there's a message, but it's I hope that our music triggers the imagination, if you will, because like I'll give the basic outline of what I think the albums are about, but I welcome people to make their own assumptions about it, make their own judgments about it. Even band lyrics, you can dissect it so much, or a lot of different ways you can dissect each word. But with instrumental, it's like I guess that's what they're going for. Yeah, that sounds good.
Now, what type of sound were you trying to bring forward on Coven?
I don't know if it's so much about sound I was trying to project, but I wrote Coven. I think it was 2015. That makes sense because we recorded it in 2016. I actually had my first trip with my ex, and it was anyone who knows me knows I'm obsessed with Salem, Massachusetts. It has put a spell on me, pun totally intended. And I have a Google Drive file of like my own personal tour of Salem because I get asked so often, what should I do when I'm up there? But we had just gotten home from the 6-hour drive because there was traffic. And while my ex was like unpacking and taking a shower, I just happened to pick up my bass sitting at the edge of her bed. Yeah, I didn't have an amp there or anything, so I just had my cell phone and my unplugged bass. I had my cell phone on my knee, and I just demoed a bunch of music I was hearing in my head while thinking about Salem and looking at the pictures. And so I guess that album, and it's very much an ode to Salem. It's an ode to the unfortunate people that were tried and murdered for their property. Yeah, so I guess that's the general vibe. Because I didn't have a particular sound in mind for that album, I guess, except for the last track. The last track, I'm like, I want you and me on drums, and I want to be complete, utter fucking chaos. Like, that was planned out. And we've only done that live once. It's on YouTube. It would be cool to do it again, but we need a show where people are actually willing to bring more than one house kit. Yeah, so I guess the general sound of Coven would have been Salem, Massachusetts.
Now, what type of recording techniques did you use for it?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That is a good question.
Whatever John at Backroom Studios did. I mean, I'm trying to think if we did anything special for that.
We do always record live.
Yeah, we definitely record live. We're not a band that play to a click track and do the parts because we never really played the same song twice, right? Like it changes every time we play it. Like the verse might be longer today, but the chorus will be longer tomorrow, and that bridge, who knows, maybe we'll double it next week. So that's what happens when we do it live in the studio. because it's very much how we're both feeling. Because we face each other and we make eye contact the whole time, which is kind of awkward. But we know where each other's going. Like we can feel it. I mean, we've been playing together since we were like 14, 15. So it's like after a while, I mean, there's certain times where I don't even have to look at Ricky, and he knows exactly which path we're taking. If you want to talk recording technique, though, we should talk about Visitor then.
Please do.
We intentionally, and apparently it worked. Before Visitor, we made a pentagram out of lights, and we had
lights and a hula hoop.
Yeah, red Christmas lights and a hula hoop. We made a pentagram, and I had 5 saint candles, and it was like Charles Manson, Ed Gein, G.G. Allen, and I forget who else. Gacy? Yeah. I think Gacy, and then there was a 5th one. I think the 5th one was something a little more innocent, like Mike Patton or something like that. But we actually, after we got done sound checking, we played audio of a satanic black mass in the room with all the lights off and lit all the candles, and it just kind of for Visitor. And John recorded Coven and Visitor. He even said to me, he's like, I've never done anything like this before. And he was kind of, not that he was freaked out, but he was like, fuck. I was even freaked out at one point because we recorded that entire album with the lights out, just with the pentagram, hula hoop, 5 candles. That's how we recorded the entire album in the dark, just looking at each other. And I really feel like that's why that album is so eerie, because we really kind of put it in there. It broke, I think, 5 people's stereos at this point. The CDs have broken 5 people's stereos. I've heard of people having bad things happen to them after they listen to it, and it's like, I was just kind of hoping for a minor spooky. I wasn't hoping for a full-on poltergeist, but, it is what it is.
How are you guys trying to stay musically active during the pandemic?
I mean, we have been working on new material. We have 2 whenever we get around to recording them. Yeah, I mean, we're still practicing. What's it called? We're hoping to do one of those live stream things eventually, like in the studio live stream, and we'll play some new material and some old material. So, yeah, because I don't think we're ready to start playing shows yet. It's I side on the side of caution, as I imagine Ricky does.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, because it would be cool to play a show. The only time I would consider playing a show is if the drive-in invited us, but that's because it's outdoors, it's wide open, and I don't have to worry about social distancing. But if a bar hit us up, I would probably.
Now, what is your most cherished musical possession?
That's a good one.
Oof.
Vader, go first.
Prize musical. There's a couple of those. I guess. Well, my first would be, you know exactly what's coming. The grabber. I have a Gibson grabber bass, and that was my main bass for Deja Gravy up until. Specifically because it's on permanent loan to me. It's a 1975 Gibson grabber. It's on permanent loan to me from a family friend of mine who's kind enough to trust me with it. But people were getting aggressive with me at shows about it. They wanted it, and they go. I understand people are going to come up and try to buy it off me, but sometimes they got aggressive about trying to buy it off me. So that did not fly with me. So I bought myself a new beater bass, and I only use the grabber in the studio and at home nowadays. I don't go to shows anymore if there were shows. I guess it would be that, or I have a distortion pedal that says "fuck white supremacy," and I think that's pretty cool. So it's just a simple distortion pedal, but it's just a black pedal and in big bold letters "fuck white supremacy." And I'm like, yeah, that's gonna be a pedal I take to the grave. How about you, Richard?
I'm gonna have to say probably the electric drum kit, just because it lets me completely annoying my neighbors, or my Tama snare drum that my mom bought me years ago, just because it sounds really nice and it's beautiful.
That is a nice snare. Yeah. Why don't you use that in Deja Gravy? I was using that piccolo. Pop!
I know.
You can use whatever you want. I don't care. I have to bust him a little bit.
Yeah. Now, Vader, what is your most treasured album? Could be like something like autographed or some real rarity or something. Just looking for something interesting.
Oh man, if you want to go first, Ricky, because that's like picking my favorite testicle.
Okay.
No offense,
right.
but your record collection's smaller.
Yeah, no, that's true. There's a lot. All right. Probably my Piper at the Gates of Dawn original press. I traded some kid an eighth of weed for it, like 15 years ago or so.
After I had to downplay it, that wasn't an important record.
Yeah.
Ricky technically stole that record from me, but it's okay.
That and my what Jimi Hendrix album is that?
Oh, Band of Gypsies?
Yeah, my Band of Gypsies original Jimi Hendrix album that I have signed by...
Oh, the bassist, Billy Cox, I believe?
Yeah, Billy Cox signed it. And you know, he when I got it signed, he immediately told me not to go home and sell it, and I kind of like laughed at him. I thought he was just trying to... He thought I was going to go just get it signed and go home and sell it on eBay.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them. One is I have a Charles Manson record that I had to pay out the ass for, but it actually came with typed letters from two of his followers that are still active. So that's pretty cool to have. But then the other one, super rare. I used to work at a radio station, an online radio station called Homegrown Radio, and which was great because it was a physical radio station, but it was online, and there's no FCC because fuck the FCC. I remember going through the record collection the one time, and I pulled out this record, and it was a band called The Cunts, and I put it on, and it was like this. It was like garage punk from the guy was playing like organ and harpsichord over top of it, and it was like super over the top. And I Googled it, and I couldn't find anything about this band, so I kind of did an exchange with the radio station of like, hey, I'm taking this record that no one has played on the station in probably 20 years, and I'm going to donate these 20 records to your collection. So it was like a fair trade, but to this day I've looked it up, and I haven't found it on Discogs or anything, but it's called It Came From the Garage, and it's some band called The Cunts. They're from Chicago, and I think their biggest claim to fame besides the album is that they were friends with Flipper. So, yeah, that one, as I said, I've never seen it for sale.
Wow.
Rare to see anyone know who it is. I think there's a band nowadays called The Cunts, but it's not the band from like the 80s that I have. So I'm glad I have that demo. You know, it's definitely something I cherish. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Now, do you have an awesome tri-state area urban legend or ghost story?
Well, I mean, close to. Would you prefer something? Would you prefer something close to where we live, or just in general?
What would be a more awesome story?
Well, I mean, I guess. Trying to think. I guess Shades of Death Road, right? For us, at least, it would be Shades of Death Road. I mean, our biggest claim to fame in this area is that we live 20 minutes away from where they shot the original Friday the 13th. That's like Warren County's biggest fame to claim. But urban legends, I guess it would be Shades of Death. Either that or the Changewater murders. Sniper in Hackettstown, even though no one talks about that. I'm the only person who talks about the sniper in Hackettstown. No one in Hackettstown wants to talk about the sniper. His relatives still live there. Don't bring it up. But yeah, I mean, yeah, the sniper to start there, I guess, would just be this guy came back from Vietnam with shell shock and PTSD, whichever it is, and he started on the train tracks right by my job and just started sniping people walking down the tracks. And yep, that was Hackettstown's biggest. That was probably the biggest thing that happened to Hackettstown besides M&M Factory being there.
Oh yeah.
And then Shades of Death. What's up with Shades of Death? Like, there's like 50 urban legends surrounding Shades of Death,
there's just
right?
like really spooky stuff that happens up there, and like people see apparitions and everything, and like weird shit just happens on the road.
Oh, it's like, what is it about? You have to park the car under the bridge and turn it off, and you honk the horn 3 times, and this child is supposed to appear. Yeah. The car doesn't start. The car doesn't start. This ghost child who's probably naked because that's how it goes.
No, I mean, one time me and my buddy Frank were like driving down there in like severe thunderstorm, And no joke, like we saw all these white frogs hopping across the road, like hundreds of them.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it was really fucking strange. And then like we drove down the road, turned around, and then they were like all gone.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I still remember, and of course he's not here to defend himself anymore, Mike Rinaldi, because he passed away. But I remember Mike told me he didn't talk about it very often, but you know he's not here, so it doesn't matter. He was going down Shades of Death. It's a nice little short. So Shades of Death and Ghost Lake is on Shades of Death. What's it called? Mike was driving down Shades of Death at like 2 a.m, coming home from a late shift at work. And he clear as day saw in front of him an old lady pushing a baby carriage from like the 60s. And he slammed on his brakes and he felt the thud of like his car hitting this old woman and the child. And he gets out and there was nothing there. Like there wasn't a log in the road or like any debris. It was just.
Wow.
I remember when Mike told me that, I was like, seriously, dude? Because I even questioned him, like, you know, I was like, are you sure you want like a little high there, buddy? And he was like, no, man, I was coming home from work. Like, he was like, he couldn't explain it until the day he died. He could not explain what happened to him on Shades of Death Road.
No.
But yeah, I mean, what was that?
Was there any damage to his car?
No, there wasn't.
Okay.
There wasn't any damage to the car, but he heard the boom, like the thud of hitting something. Yeah, dude, all sorts of stuff happens out there. I've heard everything from like mafia people hiding bodies to like supposedly all the way the hell out here and buried their treasure. They killed everyone who knew where the treasure was except for the captain. I'm like, what? Like, there's so many urban legends around Shades of Death Road and Ghost Lake. And
there's like a lot of Indian tribes up here, and like it's named Jenny Jump State Forest because allegedly like the Indians chased this one like girl off the cliff, and she had to jump off the cliff or like be killed.
Oh no, she was the Native American, I thought.
Are you sure?
I thought she was the Native American because I always thought it was her trying to escape the Pilgrims and trying not to be raped, and she jumped to her death.
Oh, that could be it too.
Yeah, either way, some girl was trying to avoid terrible things and death, and she jumped to her death at Ghost Lake and at Jenny Jump.
Yeah.
But Jenny Jump, I might add, is a beautiful state park where you can get cabins and tents. And
it is very nice.
Right, it's a good camping ground, definitely. Yeah. Not that they're sponsoring our band or anything, but maybe they should.
Final words.
I'm trying to think if there's anything that we talked about. I think we covered a good amount.
You know what? By the way, do you have an Instagram or anything like that?
We have a lot of stuff.
Shoot out your socials.
Okay. Well, you can visit our Instagram at Deja Gravy, DEJAGRAVY. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're not on Twitter because we're not that cool. We're old.
We're on Spotify.
I think Coven and Visitor are on like every streaming service ever, like everything from like Amazon to Spotify to Bandcamp. Our actual Bandcamp has like 7 releases on it. It's just we didn't want to give that much money to Spotify because fuck Spotify. If you want to follow my personal Instagram, because we're cute, it's Deja Glue, DEJAGLUE. I am also on Twitch playing video games. If you want to watch me, die and make fun of me, you can find me on Twitch, Instagram. Oh, and I have a YouTube channel too. We both have a YouTube channel. There's a Deja Gravy YouTube channel. Then there's a Vader Boris YouTube channel where I do like bass lessons and stuff. And you can also see us on America's Most Wanted next week.
Oh wow!
But that's all of our socials.
Awesome, thanks. This has been an interview with Deja Gravy on October 4th, 2020 by Nick Burkell.